On May 24, 2025, police responded to a residential neighborhood regarding a dispute over a parking spot, which quickly escalated into a confrontation involving alleged racial slurs and harassing behavior. This incident serves as a powerful case study in how minor civil disagreements, like who parks where, can spiral into criminal charges when boundaries of speech and conduct are crossed. It also highlights the critical legal distinction between being an annoying neighbor and committing disorderly conduct.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. I wish I didn't have to be here to talk with you about what I'm talking with you about.
Why are you here? Because of what?
Well, because of what you were doing today. You can't just be
What did I do?
flipping people off, making them feel uncomfortable.
Because a Mexican, stopped me?
Okay. I don't think that's what happened.
You know what? They need to go back to Mexico.
Okay, you can't be saying things like that. All
Yeah,
right?
I can.
No,
Yeah, I can. No, it's not racist.
So here's the thing, Tracy.
It's our president of the United States.
Tracy.
Our president of the United States, Trump.
Tracy.
No impact right here.
That's neither here nor there, okay? They live over there, you live over here, all right? We're going to stay like that, but if you start touching people's cars, leaving notes on it, listen,
Wait,
just
what?
just listen.
Time out. Time the out.
I've seen the notes.
Time the out. When did you see the notes?
She just showed them to me.
When?
Just now.
From when?
It's in the past. I don't know. She said it started
It's in the
3 years.
past.
She said it started
It's
3
in the
years ago.
past.
The notes are.
Right.
But the behavior is continuing.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, well, you probably should because
No.
that's why we're here.
No.
And then this could lead to
No.
criminal charges if things...
Criminal charges for
Yes.
what? Because they
We
need to
could-
go back to Mexico?
We could start with disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct for what?
At the very least.
Well,
You're alarming and disturbing people.
disarming people how?
They don't feel safe because of what you're doing and saying and how you're
Right,
acting.
because they park their car on my street?
Your street is... You do not own the street.
Oh, okay, so...
You're more than welcome to park your car there so they can't.
Okay, so... Trump says...
Trump has nothing to do with North
Trump
World
is
right
our
now.
president.
I understand that, but he has nothing
You
to...
understand that, right?
Yes, but he has
Okay,
nothing
you
to do with
understand
North
that,
World.
right? Correct?
Correct.
You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that?
Tracy, you've asked me that 4 times in a row, and I've said the same thing.
And I've said the same thing to you.
No,
They park there.
They can do that.
They can do that, and
Yes.
they're looking at me.
It's a public street. Everyone pays the same
Listen,
taxes.
I pay the same taxes too.
All right, then you can also park your car there. But this is
I don't park my car there.
Tracy, can we all agree that this is a little ridiculous?
No, I can't agree. I can't agree.
Okay. I think what you
Jackass is contacting me via
That
no
doesn't-
caller ID.
I don't
right?
care. Tracy.
Yeah, you don't care
I
because
don't care about that. I'm not
I
here for
could
that.
die
I'm
and you
not
don't
here for that.
care.
I am not here for that. What I
You
think
don't
you need to
care.
do is go inside.
Tracy,
I think you need to
Go inside.
Dee Dee Mao.
Tracy, I can put a front line in so that people do extra patrols in the neighborhood for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to
But-
talk to him now.
That's
okay?
fine.
What
But
I
he's
need
gonna
Because
probably
you
tell
are
the same
nothing.
Tracy,
Like my dad served in the U.S. Army,
If you want to talk to him, then
and
talk
you
to
don't
him.
deserve a flag on your casket.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk to him.
Okay.
Tracy.
If you want to talk
I
to him,
can put
then
that
do
extra
that.
patrol in here, but you
Thank
can't
you.
be yelling at your neighbors just because they're a
Yelling
certain
at who?
race. You can't be targeting them because they're a
I
certain
didn't say
race.
they were a certain race.
Well, you said they were Mexican. They had to go back to Mexico.
Well,
You said that.
They do.
No, they don't. They're citizens here.
Well,
they can stay here.
Are they citizens?
How would you know that?
How do you know that?
'Cause I can't assume that they're not citizens. If someone's here, I just assume
So
they're citizens
maybe
until
you
I
need
have
to go
evidence of
down
it.
there and
How do I know
find
you're
out-
how do I know you're a citizen?
Because my dad served in the United States Army.
It doesn't
What if
mean
their
you're a
parents served in the
citizen.
United States
I'm a
Army?
citizen.
But how do I know you are compared to them?
Exactly.
So then, should we send you back to wherever your ancestors are?
Where am I? I'm in the United States of
So
America.
are they.
So where are they? I'm not talking to you.
They're in the United
by
States
the way,
of America.
That's
I'm
fine.
not talking to
Okay?
you.
You
I
can't
appreciate
be
that.
targeting them and-
Yeah, I appreciate that too.
All right.
Tracy,
I've never seen you.
he's sleeping anyways. Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna talk to you.
You can't.
My dad served the United States Army
We appreciate
and
the
fought for our
service.
country.
We appreciate that.
That's right.
That's
I have
to allow
Agent Orange,
certain
by the way,
freedoms
you
in this
little
country.
millennial.
And you can't be
You're a
restricting-
fucking millennial
Okay.
that
Tracy.
Keep smiling.
Tracy.
Keep smiling.
Tracy.
My dad, I have
wasn't
Agent
talking.
Orange. I have Agent Orange in my bloodstream.
Okay.
You weren't even born when my dad served our country.
Correct. You are
Correct.
You are more than
correct. So you got me on video?
Yes.
All right, I'm not talking to you anymore.
Right. You've said that a couple times.
I'm not
now.
talking to you. You're a little millennial.
You're good to go.
All right. So you're being cited for disorderly conduct. It's a must appear. Okay. So June 18th, you have to go to the Northfield Police Department and talk to them about your behavior.
Didi Mao.
Don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying Didi Mao is Vietnamese for get out.
Okay. Fair enough. June 18th. Don't miss it.
The core of this encounter revolves around the legal concept of fighting words versus protected speech. The First Amendment provides robust protection for offensive, rude, and even racist speech. However, that protection is not absolute. When speech is directed at a specific individual in a face-to-face confrontation and is likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction or breach of the peace, it moves into the territory of disorderly conduct. In this video, the neighbor is accused of not just making comments, but also leaving notes, flipping people off, and engaging in targeted harassment. Police officers on the scene are tasked with determining if the behavior has crossed the line from unneighborly to criminal. The officer explains that while the neighbor cannot be arrested solely for her opinions on immigration or national politics, she can be cited for conduct that alarms and disturbs others to the point where they feel unsafe. This is a crucial distinction. The law focuses on the impact of the behavior on the peace of the community, rather than the specific content of the political opinion. The suspect attempts to use political affiliation and family history as a shield against legal accountability. She repeatedly invokes the president and her father's military service as if these facts grant her immunity from local ordinances. This is a common behavioral pattern in police interactions where a suspect feels their social status or ideological alignment should override the immediate legal reality. From a legal perspective, however, neither a parent's service record nor a political endorsement provides a defense against a disorderly conduct charge. The officer patiently but firmly dismantles this defense, explaining that neither here nor there is the legal standard for such justifications. A significant portion of the interaction involves the officer trying to de-escalate the situation through reasoning. He attempts to explain property rights, specifically that public streets are public and anyone can park there. The suspect's refusal to accept this legal fact is what keeps the conflict alive. By insisting that they live over there, you live over here, she is attempting to enforce a boundary that does not exist in law. This refusal to accept legal reality is often what forces officers to move from mediation to enforcement. If a person cannot be reasoned with regarding the law, the only tool left is the citation or arrest. The suspect's demeanor creates a totality of the circumstances that supports the disorderly conduct charge. She is argumentative, dismissive, and focuses on the race of her neighbors rather than the actual issue of parking. When the officer points out that her conduct is alarming and disturbing, he is essentially reading the elements of the disorderly conduct statute to her. Her response, mocking the officer and calling him a millennial, further cements the officer's decision. It demonstrates a lack of impulse control and a disregard for authority, suggesting that a warning would not be sufficient to stop the behavior.
Can you show you it? The text.
Yeah, let's take a look.
It's not like I'm afraid. Please, out of my house.
You invited us in, man. Yeah, you just asked us to come in.
No, I'm not mad at you guys. No, it's cool. Here you go.
On a quiet morning that spiraled into a chaotic scene involving a taser deployment, law enforcement officers responded to a residential neighborhood following a complaint about a neighbor allegedly making threats. What began as a standard dispute investigation rapidly evolved into a high-stakes encounter inside a private residence, illustrating how quickly a civil disagreement can transition into a multi-charge arrest when intoxication and poor decision-making collide. This incident serves as a critical case study in the legal mechanics of resisting arrest, the constitutional nuances of home entry, and the severe consequences of attempting to disarm a law enforcement officer.
Okay.
I don't believe in those. I don't mean it that way. What I mean is he is a bad neighbor. Maybe better said that way, right?
I'm just trying to figure out, because he said up until today He's seen you go past, and you've always waved at each other and everything, and he's...
Yeah, well, here's what the mistake he made.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what. Watch this. I said, as I nearly blew his dog out. Mm-hmm. You saw that, right? I'm like, dude, I don't want any dogs to die. I've been through that pain.
Right.
I picked off a dog in Princeton. I picked off a dying dog, bleeding out of his fucking mouth, and a little girl coming, 23-year-old girl coming. I hate to pick that fucker up. I said, I don't want to see that shit again. I said, I don't want to see that again. So this is what I told him. I said, dude, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a dog get hit. So he never really got it. And so I therefore, I'm like, you're not getting this shit, man. So I upped my game. I'm like, dude, do you not realize your dog gonna fucking die, bro?
Has the dog come out since then?
Well, he came out, and I'm like, oh, dang, it's cool. It's cool. It's a very long list of what he's done to me and my family.
Okay.
Dude, I didn't touch him.
Well, he was frightened enough that he said he went into the house and called us. So.
I know what he did. Because here's what people do. And when they're chicken shit, you know what they do? Call the police. Call the popo.
Well,
I
would rather them call us than have something happen to somebody.
Call the 5-0.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you know what? And that's cool. But these little fucking chicken shit, these little fucking niggers, didn't say it, but I did.
Well, he ran.
They always like, oh my God! Mm-hmm. I'm like, I never laid a hand on him.
Where were you coming from today? I mean...
I was here the whole time.
Well, you drove past his house. Like, I was just wondering where you were coming from earlier.
No. I've been here the whole time.
Okay. You had quite a bit to drink today. I can smell it coming from you, and you're slurring a little bit. So, I mean, it's pretty early yet, so...
It doesn't matter. I've been here the whole time.
Okay, well, sometimes it affects your judgment, you know, if you've had a lot of alcohol.
I get that.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm even smarter than you are.
Okay.
I get that.
Is this, I mean, are you having a bad time of it or something? I mean, is this...
You have no clue, bro.
Okay.
You have no clue, bro.
Okay.
So, here's what we gotta do. Like, I'm outie. He hurt my dad.
Okay.
My dad, and he's fighting a battle on his own.
Okay.
And he's hurt him over and over and over again.
I think you definitely need to leave him alone. I mean, he was frightened by some of the stuff that you said.
Well, I'm sure he is. But you know what? If you don't tell people this, I'm going to tell you something in life. I'm big, right? I'm bad, right? I have the biggest heart in the world.
Scott, I'm gonna say something though. So I've been doing this job for quite a while, and so has Deputy Zoomer.
Yeah, I respect that.
And I can tell you that you're pretty intoxicated right now.
I would agree.
And
I would agree.
Sometimes you make poor judgments when you're intoxicated, where I think if you were sober, you probably would have handled that differently, or not handled it at all.
I would agree, but yet disagree.
Okay.
Because you know what? I did that. There's only one reason I did that, for my dad.
Okay. Well, and your dad's old enough. I know your dad. He can handle his own situation too with him if he needs to. So. But you shouldn't be doing it when you're intoxicated. If you want to have a civil conversation with somebody when you're sober, that's the time to do it. Okay?
Fair enough.
You understand?
Fair enough.
All right. So here's the issue.
Yes, sir.
I want you to listen to me now. I'm going to need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for disorderly conduct.
Whoa.
Turn around. If you resist, I will send my dog and he will bite you. Turn around.
This is what it is.
Turn around. Wait a minute.
No, you're gonna fucking tased. You're gonna get tased. Get on the ground.
Let's just take these off.
I can't take those off.
Okay.
You just wrestled with us, so.
I'm sorry.
So.
Can you get an ambulance here? He's got a wound to his lower neck, presumably from a taser dart.
These hurt.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want you to sit here and relax now, Scott. Oh.
You have no idea what I've been through.
You're lucky you didn't get bit.
I don't care. Nothing matters.
Whatever you got going, you need to get something figured out in your life, okay?
Can I be released? Like, what I have to pay?
So this is a disorderly conduct.
Okay.
For what happened today.
And resisting.
And resisting
arrest.
Oh, oh boy. I'm sorry for that.
Well.
Yeah. Well, I f***ed up. I made a mistake. Yep.
We're going to have the ambulance come out. We just want to check you over because there was a taser deployed. You understand?
No, dude, you have no idea what I've been through.
Okay. Would you feel more comfortable in a chair right now while we wait for the ambulance? No? You're fine on?
In ambulance, just take these off.
Can't take those off. Those got to stay on.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When can I pay this, or my father pay this?
We will.
One more.
We will go ahead and figure that out at the jail. I want.
Jail?
Yeah,
Yes, you're going to jail.
I'm under arrest. I didn't even do anything wrong.
Yes, it's disorderly conduct and resisting. So we'll figure that out up at the jail, and then I want to make sure that you sober up before you're released. That is the biggest thing I'm concerned about right now.
You know what? This is my farm.
I know.
I can't do this. You can't do this to me, bro.
We didn't do anything to you, sir. Your actions caused this today.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, but
Yeah, I'm sorry.
not now. You're going to have to answer to the judge.
You get hit by the taser a couple times?
I hit the wire.
That's what I thought.
Can you just take these off?
Nope, those got to stay on.
You know what? That taser's pretty hard. Guess what? My best friend's a cop. You came in my house.
We told you you were under arrest outside. You came in the house. We followed you. It's called fresh pursuit. We're well within our rights. Technically, what you did is a felony. It's called escape as well.
I didn't mean it that way.
It doesn't matter how you meant it.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody.
We don't want to wrestle with anybody, but you got to go along with the program when we're here.
Yeah, I get it.
Were you drinking last night, or is this all from the day?
No, it was you have no idea what benzos are about.
Okay. Well, I'm going to suggest that you maybe figure things out in your life and seek counseling if you're drinking as much as you are, because you're very intoxicated for 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but guess what?
This is probably why you're sitting here right now in cuffs.
I'm not driving, right?
Well, I think you were, but we're not gonna go down that road.
No, I was not driving. I was not driving.
He saw you do it. But
well,
Scott, listen. Don't lie to me. I'm not doing anything with an OWI, so you don't have to worry about that anyway. But I know you were driving, so I'm kind of concerned about that as well. You need to think about your actions there. You could have hurt somebody. You can't be driving like this.
Can you please take these off?
Nope, those got to stay on.
Oh boy.
We'll get them off when we get up to the jail.
Can you drive me back here?
No. You'll see the judge tomorrow afternoon, probably. And then it'll be up to you to get back here yourself. Can you sit up and just stop moving around?
I'm trying, dude.
Which way do you want to sit?
You're not giving me very much possibility.
We're giving you every possibility in the book except for taking your handcuffs off.
I just don't want your head to hit this cabinet.
So why don't we sit up on your butt and lean up against this cabinet?
Disorderly conduct, that's what you're gonna...
Disorderly conduct and resisting.
Resisting.
Yep.
Guys, did I feel you?
I'm sorry, what were you just saying? That didn't make any sense.
Did I make you guys feel like I was resisting?
Yes.
100%.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
What you did is the textbook definition of active resistance, which is why you got tased.
I was just afraid of that teaser, that's all.
You resisted for the taser? You resisted prior to the taser.
Can you do me one favor? Here, my phone.
What do you want with your phone?
Here, my friend.
Okay. Well, we're not going to call anybody right now.
No, we're going to call my friend. She said, let me call.
We'll take your phone up to the jail with you if you want, and you can get numbers off of it.
I don't know if you're not understanding this. You're not getting out of jail before tomorrow afternoon.
They're going to keep you until you sober up.
So what am I being charged with?
Disorderly conduct and resisting.
By the way, that hurt.
I'm sure it did. When you slammed my arm into the door, that kind of hurt too.
Well, I was just trying to get away. That's all.
Exactly. So you were trying to commit a crime. It's called escape. Like I told you before, you're extremely lucky that I didn't send my dog on you, because then you'd have bite wounds.
But, okay. Can you guys do me one favor though?
No.
We're not calling anybody if that's what you're going to ask.
He's stuck in the cycle.
You are definitely going around in circles here. today, Scott?
But my jurisdiction is...
You don't have jurisdiction. What do you mean your jurisdiction?
Well, yeah.
Your charges are disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
Did I hurt you guys?
No, I'm not charging you with battery to law enforcement. I probably could because you slammed my arm pretty hard in the door.
I was just trying to get away.
I understand, which is all I need to know because that meets the elements of that crime. Scott, the ambulance is here. They're going to check you out, okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep, they're going to come in here and check you out. You're not going to cause them any problems?
No, I know.
This is Scott. He's in custody. Kind of didn't want to go to jail today, and he ended up getting tased.
EMS proceeds to check Scott for any serious injury.
Everything look good?
Yeah.
Perfect. Scott, in a minute here, I'm gonna explain something to you.
That's fair.
He's got a belt right here. We're gonna put it around your waist. We're gonna get your hands out of the cuffs behind you and put them in front so it's more comfortable on the ride up there.
Thank you. Thank you.
We need you to remain cooperative with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. I promise I will. So, guys, what am I exactly charged with?
Disorderly conduct, resisting arrest.
I'm so sorry to did that.
Well, it happens. People make poor decisions when they're drunk.
You ready? You ready to sit up?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3. There you go. There you are.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this belt around you first.
Now listen to me, Scott.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to unhandcuff your left hand.
Okay.
When I do that, I want you to bring it around in front. He's going to have this ready for you. I want you to put your wrist right in here. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right up here. Right like this. Stop spinning your wrist around.
Just keep it like this.
Keep it just like that. Okay. Same with this one. Hold on now. I got to safety lock them so they don't tighten up on you, okay?
Okay. We're going to get you up now, okay?
Ready? 1, 2. Do you have any medications you need, sir?
Yes. If they don't give them to me, I'm probably going to die.
Okay. We don't want that to happen. But where are your meds at?
Right over there.
Where at, sir?
Here, just.
There's a prescription bottle in your gym bag over here.
Yep.
That's the one you need?
There it is. Yes. Yes, sir.
Watch your step down. You probably know it better than I do, but just be on the safe side. We're going to go right to this door right over here on this.
Watch your head, sir.
There you go. It's much easier than sitting on your wrist, isn't it? There you go.
Pick up your hands. Okay. Pick up your hands.
Understanding the legal framework of this interaction is vital for any citizen, as it dismantles common misconceptions about sanctuary inside one's home and the scope of police authority during an active investigation. The viewer will see how a series of small, avoidable choices, fueled by a dangerously high level of intoxication, compounded to create a scenario where officers felt compelled to use force. This breakdown will clarify the legal thresholds for disorderly conduct, the concept of fresh pursuit, and why fleeing into your own home does not necessarily stop an arrest in progress. The initial contact between the officer and the suspect, identified as Scott, sets the stage for everything that follows. The officers arrive to investigate a claim that Scott threatened a neighbor regarding a dog. From a legal standpoint, the officer is conducting a preliminary investigation to determine if a crime, such as disorderly conduct or communicating threats, has occurred. Scott immediately adopts a defensive yet talkative posture, admitting to the interaction but framing it as a misunderstanding about the neighbor's dog's safety. He uses phrases like, "I up my game," to describe his escalation with the neighbor, which, to an officer's ear, sounds like an admission of aggressive behavior. Crucially, Scott exhibits clear signs of significant intoxication. The officer notes the smell of alcohol, slurred speech, and erratic behavior at 11 a.m. While being drunk in your own home is generally not a crime, public intoxication or intoxication that leads to a breach of the peace is relevant. In this case, the intoxication serves as a catalyst for the disorderly conduct charge. Disorderly conduct is often a catch-all charge, but it specifically targets behavior that disturbs the public peace or alarms others. By admitting to yelling at the neighbor and upping his game to the point where the neighbor felt the need to call the police, Scott provides the officer with the probable cause necessary for the initial charge. The turning point of the entire incident occurs when the officer decides to effect an arrest. He clearly states, "You're under arrest for disorderly conduct," and instructs Scott to turn around. At this precise moment, the legal dynamic shifts. Scott is no longer a subject being interviewed. He is a suspect in custody, regardless of whether the handcuffs are on yet. The law requires citizens to submit to a lawful arrest, even if they believe the arrest is unjust. The proper venue to contest an arrest is in a courtroom, not on a front lawn. Scott's decision to retreat into his house changes the legal landscape dramatically. This introduces the concept of fresh pursuit or hot pursuit. Generally, under the Fourth Amendment and the Supreme Court ruling in Payton versus New York, police need a warrant to enter a private home to make a felony arrest. However, there are exceptions. If an officer sets a lawful arrest in motion in a public place, like the front porch or yard, and the suspect flees inside to evade that arrest, the officer is often permitted to follow them inside to complete the arrest. This is to prevent suspects from simply retreating to their living rooms to escape justice for crimes committed outside. When Scott runs inside, he not only fails to escape the charge, but adds a new, more serious one: resisting arrest. Resisting arrest can be passive, going limp, or active, pulling away, fleeing, fighting. Fleeing into the house constitutes active resistance. Once inside, the physical struggle ensues. The officers warn him multiple times that he will be tased if he does not comply. These warnings are legally significant because they demonstrate the officer's attempt to gain compliance through verbal commands before resorting to intermediate weapons. The use of the taser is justified in the officer's report by Scott's active fighting and refusal to present his hands, creating an immediate safety risk to the officers in a confined space. A critical and potentially life-altering allegation arises during the struggle: attempting to disarm a peace officer. The transcript notes that Scott is charged with this because a deputy observed him trying to grab the taser. This is a felony charge in almost every jurisdiction and carries severe penalties. From a legal perspective, the intent to disarm is inferred from the action of grabbing the weapon. Defense attorneys might argue that in the chaos of a struggle, a suspect might instinctively grab at anything, but prosecutors will argue that grabbing a weapon demonstrates an intent to harm the officer or facilitate an escape. This single action elevates the risk level for everyone involved and provides legal justification for potentially lethal force, though thankfully only less lethal force was used here. The role of intoxication cannot be overstated in this analysis. Scott's blood alcohol concentration, BAC, was later measured at 0.309, a level that is nearly 4 times the legal driving limit and potentially fatal for non-alcoholics. This level of impairment fundamentally compromises judgment, motor skills, and impulse control. Legally, voluntary intoxication is rarely a defense to general intent crimes like resisting arrest or disorderly conduct. In fact, it often serves as an aggravating factor. It explains the erratic behavior, the mood swings from aggression to apology, the repetitive questions, and the inability to follow simple commands. For the officers, dealing with a highly intoxicated subject increases the unpredictability of the encounter, often necessitating a more controlling approach to ensure safety. Following the taser deployment, the officers shift immediately from enforcement to medical care. This is a standard and legally required procedure. Once the suspect is secured, the officers have a duty of care to ensure his well-being. They call EMS to remove the taser probes and check his vitals. This transition is crucial for liability protection. Ignoring a suspect's medical needs after using force can lead to lawsuits for deliberate indifference. The officer's demeanor also shifts. They become calmer, explaining the situation to Scott, and even assisting him with his medication. This professionalism helps to de-escalate the situation and demonstrates that the force was strictly for compliance, not punishment. Scott's repeated questioning of "What am I charged with?" and "Can I pay this?" reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of the criminal justice process. He views the interaction as a transaction that can be settled immediately, likely due to his intoxication and perhaps a sense of entitlement. The officers patiently explain that he cannot pay his way out at the scene and that he must go through the booking process. This highlights the procedural reality that once an arrest is made, the officer loses the discretion to simply let it go. The suspect is now in the system, and only a judge or magistrate can determine the conditions of release. The charges stacked against Scott, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and attempting to disarm a peace officer, illustrate how charges escalate. A simple neighbor dispute, likely a citation or warning, turned into a misdemeanor arrest, disorderly conduct, due to attitude and admission. That misdemeanor arrest turned into a physical struggle, resisting arrest, due to flight, and that struggle turned into a felony charge, disarming an officer, due to a specific hand movement during the fight. It is a cascading failure of decision-making. A defense attorney reviewing this case would likely focus on the initial arrest decision. Was Scott's behavior truly disorderly in the legal sense, or was he just a loud, drunk man on his own property? If the initial arrest was unlawful, some states allow for a